Helmets on.
Go!
The crowd's ready. Football season has arrived.
Hoover tried to set a block. Bailey still going. He heaves it while he's in the grass, but it's picked up.
It's also a clean slate. It's a new college football season.
For the Oklahoma Sooners, it's a year of redemption.
Really excited about the improvements that we've made.
And the new man under center for the Crimson and Cream says he has something to prove.
What does success look like at Oklahoma in 2025?
Winning a lot of games.
Oklahoma State 2 points away from tying the game.
Plus, nearly a brand new roster for America's brightest orange. And they're fighting to create something special as questions swirl about the head Cowboy.
How long you want to do this, Mike?
KOCO's College Football Countdown starts now.
Hey everybody, welcome into the show tonight, the KOCO College Football Countdown. I am Bryan Keating alongside Hannah Hoover. Are you ready for football season?
Am I ready? I've been ready. You know, this is my favorite time of the year, and I can't wait to see Oklahoma and Oklahoma State get back after it.
They want to be a whole lot better than they were a season ago. Both teams last year were a little bit disappointing. We've got a great show for you coming up over the next hour. I talked with the head coach at Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy. It's always interesting to hear what Mike Gundy has to say just about college football, about his own football team, which he's finding out more and more of who they are. I talked with the Big 12 commissioner, Brett Yormark, about the future of the Big 12, and I thought your conversation with the Oklahoma quarterback, John Mateer, was just outstanding.
Yeah, it was so fun to get to learn about him and hear about his personality, which you will get to experience firsthand. He's got a whole lot of moxie, and I think we're going to see that on the field as well.
We'll talk to all of them. We've got analyst predictions and season predictions for the Cowboys and the Sooners as they head into the season in 2025. But I want to start at the University of Oklahoma, and the biggest story is the guy that I just mentioned. The new quarterback, it's the Washington State transfer, John Mateer.
And he had a great season with Washington State in the Pac-12. Great numbers rushing and passing. The hope is that he can bring that over to Oklahoma and really cause some serious damage for the Sooners.
He's a terrific runner. He does have kind of an attitude to him that makes people gravitate to him. The OU defense, I think, that's where they're going to hang their hat. It's Brent Venables. You know they're going to hang their hat on that defense. They hope to be as good this season as they were last season, and maybe even better. They got some big-time players. Pop up the graphic, because I think Oklahoma, if their offense can just come along, they have a chance to be really good. And that Jaden Knott, a running back transfer from California, I think he has a chance to be a super player for the Sooners this season.
Definitely, and Oklahoma was high on his list because he wanted to play for the SEC, and that's how it all went down, obviously. But Jaden Knott, he struggled with injury last season. He had a great 2023, so hoping that he stays healthy and can really perform big time for the Sooners.
R. Mason Thomas is going to be one of the best players in the SEC, along with Robert Spears Jennings, the outstanding defensive back from just down the street in Broken Arrow. Defensively, I think we know what they're going to be. Offensively, can that side of the football come along? And if they do, Sooners have a chance to be really good. I want to talk about that Oklahoma Sooner offense, and it wasn't that long ago, 12 months ago, Jackson Arnold was considered the quarterback of the future at the University of Oklahoma. That didn't work out, and he transferred to the Auburn Tigers. Here comes John Mateer, and I think OU fans are going to love him.
OU fans are going to love John Mateer because he has a whole lot of personality. I was able to talk with him at SEC Media Days to find out who is John Mateer, because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, what's he like? Well, here he is. Maybe you felt this way. Tell me if I'm wrong. A little bit overlooked coming out of high school.
Sure.
You go to Washington State. You win that starting job. Now you're the face of Oklahoma football.
Yeah.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
What is that development like to get to this point?
It's been a lot. It's been a ride, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
We're competing. We're making each other better.
John Mateer flew under the radar as a quarterback at Little Elm High School, just a stone's throw away from Frisco, Texas. He began his college career as a backup at Washington State.
I got under-recruited, was committed to Central Arkansas, got the offer to Washington State, knew I was going there. Sat for 2 years behind Cam Ward. He's pretty good, so, I learned a lot.
I don't trust anybody more than I trust Cam Ward.
But everything changed in 2024 when Ward transferred to Miami. That move opened the door for Mateer to finally take the reins as the starter. Ward would go on to be selected first overall by the Tennessee Titans.
Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
You know, it's awesome being in this position. Like, not everybody can say they're in this position. You know, it's great. The history is so rich, but I'm blessed to be here.
Now Mateer steps confidently into a new spotlight as QB1 for the Oklahoma Sooners. Who was the biggest influence on your life during this process?
I mean, I got to talk to a lot of people. I talked to Baker, everybody knows that, and it helped a lot.
It's all pretty surreal. I mean, I'm the quarterback of Oklahoma Sooners, you know, it's wild. But I'm here and I feel blessed to do it, and it's close to home, which is great. My family loves it, obviously, because I'm so close.
We came together and we figured out Oklahoma was the place to go, and it was history.
Okay, you mentioned Baker, so I'll go ahead and go there.
Yeah.
Dusty Dvorak, Greg McElroy. A lot of people are comparing you to him. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's an honor to be compared to him. I've heard it a lot, which is great. You know, I'm not going to say I don't want to hear it. I wouldn't say I'm exactly like him, but I understand the characteristics that are the same, like the hair, the mindset, I guess the moxie that people like to see. But yeah, we're not exactly alike. He's great, and if I can do what he did here, it'd be awesome. But it's going to be a little different than Baker.
What are the differences that we might see off the bat?
I'll probably run it a little more than Baker. Ideally, no, but it just ends up happening here and there. You know, and I think he has a little more in-game flair. Like, I'm not gonna do some of the pregame stuff that he did. You know, it was awesome, but I don't know if I'm
your own person.
I'm not that level of, you know, Baker's Baker. You know, you're not to get another Baker is awesome.
Personally, my confidence comes from the work I put in, and I think we've done a good job, and I think we're going to do some good things.
But John Mateer wasn't the only new face in Norman. His offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle from Washington State, made the move to Oklahoma first. Well, someone who probably knows you really well, Ben Arbuckle.
Yeah.
Talk about him and your
I want to talk a little OSU Cowboy football, kicking off the season opener on Thursday night at home against Tennessee Martin. But for the Cowboys, a schedule that it's manageable, but they got to figure out a way to win some games. And I think the home opener for the Big 12 against Baylor, I think that's awfully important.
It's a very important game because they're going to be excellent this season. Also, Oregon, this is a big non-conference game for the OSU Cowboys.
In the second half of the schedule, it gets more difficult. You got more road games, but this one right here at home on November 15th, I think that's an important one for the Pokes.
I have that one circled. Texas Tech also is another big one. It's a lot of parity in this league for Oklahoma State.
Can you get to bowl eligibility is the question for OSU. As far as the Oklahoma Sooners, they got one of the most difficult schedules in all of college football. And I think really fun for the Sooners.
Lots of fun. Auburn, you have to circle because it's Jackson Arnold versus John Mateer. That's a big headline. Also, Texas, Red River rivalry. You know that one's a fun one. Mateer, Manning on full display.
You think you'll hear Mateer and Manning a couple times? Yeah, Michigan in week 2. I cannot wait for that. The second half of the SEC schedule, boy, it is brutal. Road games at Tennessee, at Alabama, and you close the season. That one's going to be fun against LSU.
LSU is going to be a big-time game. It's really a tough back half for OU, and they have a big task ahead in 2025.
You're going to have tens of thousands of fans traveling to Norman and Stillwater every game day, every Saturday, every time they play. And some people, you know what, Hannah, they make it their mission never to miss a game, home or road.
KOCO's Elise Jones talked to our university's biggest super fans, counting down the days until college football season finally kicks off.
Boone Pickens.
We bleed orange, that's for sure.
And Oklahoma Memorial Stadium.
That's what you get excited about at the beginning of the season, is to go there.
Some would argue they're the best places to be on a Saturday in the fall.
That one day out of that week or the month, all of us are in one place at one time.
My dad used to take me to the games when I was a kid, and for years I went to every home game with him.
But for some fans, those 7 home games each year aren't enough.
If OU played a football game in the last 34 years or whatever it is, I was there.
Phil Owens, a.k.a. OU Road Warrior, has a streak only few have beat. 432 OU games in a row.
Home games, away games, bowl games, every game.
The last game he missed, 1991 versus Iowa State. His game day tradition, one he didn't think would ever go this far.
It just sort of took on a life of its own.
Traveling to more than 20 states, witnessing historic moments.
That Nebraska game in 2000, it's hard to beat that. The Tech game in 2008 was a what they call a jump around game, and that was pretty cool.
Stepping foot in some of the best stadiums in college football.
Alabama, Tennessee. There's a number of places that compare in enthusiasm and noise and things like that. Florida State.
But it's not just Owens who blocks off his calendar every fall.
I don't think there's much that we miss.
Eric and Tracy Chapman spend most of their Saturdays in Stillwater.
There's 18 of us that go every football game.
Filling a suite in Boone Pickens with their entire family.
I'm pretty sure that our grandchildren's first words were pistols firing. Our oldest grandson took his first steps on the field. We'd gone for a tour. We have pictures of him taking his first steps out there.
And now a new goal, to support the Cowboys across the nation.
I just love football. I just love college football. I said when I retired, that's what we were going to do. We were going to go to all the away games. So we're starting now.
While they've been to some already.
At TCU, when we went to Fort Worth last year, their fans were fabulous.
They're taking their commitment to the next level.
We're getting close this year. I think we may be at every away game this time. We're headed to Oregon that first week of September. We're going with the posse to Oregon.
We play in Pennsylvania this year. We play in South Carolina this year, and as far as I know, we've never played in South Carolina.
And despite these super fans seeing the most iconic atmospheres.
Sailgating at Washington is really cool. They drive their boats to the game and park at the marina and do their tailgating on their boats.
Games engraved in their memory.
I have a ticket stub from the Notre Dame game that we beat them in back in the 50s at Notre Dame.
Always when you beat OU at home, it's a favorite memory.
They say there's no place like being back home in Oklahoma.
It's just the tradition. It is a tradition. It'll be a tradition in our house forever.
I mean, I've had people offer to let me sit in their suites And I've turned them down because if I don't show up there, the people who sit around me will think I died. It would feel weird not to sit there.
And no matter how the seasons go,
we're there until they carry us out of there. Because we love our home there. We love being there.
I'm going to go to at least 500.
you'll know where to find them.
There's a part of you that's always in Stillwater and always at the Cowboys.
It's just what I do on Saturdays in the fall.
Elise Jones, KOCO 5 News.
It's not just about the football.
These are the game bibs.
Stay with us on the KOCO College Football Kickoff with all the gear you need for game day.
From cowboy boots to the cutest clear bags, we'll show you the must-haves to rep your team in style. That's next on KOCO. Dusty Dvorak, two-time All-Big 12 defensive lineman, one of the best to ever do it for Oklahoma.
In the early 2000s, he used to get after the quarterback. Now he is one of the best analysts at ESPN, and nobody knows the Oklahoma football program better than Dusty Dvorak.
I am curious what you are most interested in watching Oklahoma football this year.
Great question. The offense, John Mateer. I'm not excited. I think he's brought a swag and a bravado to the locker room that was much needed. I hate to draw the comparisons, but there's similar intangibles that John Mateer brings to the table that Baker brought to the table, just from an overall confidence of the locker room standpoint and just the way he carries himself. And I think you can draw some similarities from a young Lincoln Riley to a young Ben Arbuckle. That's setting a high bar.
I mean,
those guys did a lot together, and I'm not saying they have to get there, but how does that not intrigue you? How does that not draw a ton of interest heading into the season?
For OU fans who hadn't seen a lot of John Mateer, what are they going to be watching in the fall?
Athletic. The guy can move around very well. Play breaks down. Offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle's not always going to call the right play. He can make a bad play good. And I think that we're going to see a lot of that. And I think just genuine excitement on the football field. I mean, you know, again, running down, celebrating with your teammates after you throw a touchdown.
It's the
pass.
Baker stuff.
Where'd we see that before?
Yeah.
That again, I don't think the guy's trying to emulate Baker. I just think that's who he is.
Got to ask you about Brent. Obviously, it's a big year for Brent. How much pressure is he under? Because you got to win at Oklahoma.
Yeah. Look, he's under immense pressure. He's been under immense pressure since the day he took that job. He knows that. You know, this is what he signed up for. He knew what he was walking into. He'll be the first to tell you. He's got to win. They got to win this year. It's got to be a much improved season. And I know it's the toughest schedule in college football, says a lot of people. Not my opinion. There's a lot of metrics out there that'll prove that out. It's a massive year, and I think they're going to be ready for that. But, you know, it's a results-oriented business. They got to go out, they got to win. They got to have the results on the field, and I can't wait to see.
What does a successful season for Oklahoma look like?
Look, you want me to put a wins on?
No, it doesn't have to be wins. Obviously, wins are going to make a difference.
Yeah.
For Brent, but what is success? Because throughout the history of Oklahoma football, it's like, well, you got to go 10-1 or 12-2.
Yeah.
College football is different now.
It is.
What does successful season look like for Oklahoma?
I think handling your business at home and finding a way to win a game or two on the road in the SEC. You know, to me, 8-4 is a really good year, given that schedule.
Yeah.
And I know that is hard for a lot of Oklahoma
Sure.
fans to hear and for them to swallow. But if they go 8-4, given that schedule, and they need to be 5-0 going in Texas. From Texas on down, there ain't no gimmies. It's buckle up, because it's going to be a serious ride.
Every football season, there's a must-have game day trend, from white cowboy boots to beaded straps for your clear purse.
Most of the people I know, they like the polos and the T-shirts.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Our own Megan Mosley went to Stillwater to check out this year's hot ticket item.
When it comes to game day in Stillwater, it's not just about the football, it's about the fashion. And here, orange is always in style.
University Spirit, this is Dawn. How may I help you?
Chris's University opened in 1986. It's just kind of a fun atmosphere. I think just because we're so close to the stadium, people like to come here and shop.
What are people starting to buy?
Just your general OSU merchandise, probably getting ready for game day.
From students to alumni, every fan has their own spin.
These are the game bibs, super popular. It's going to be your crazy fan. Garrett, you may have to put this on for a photo shoot. This is Noggin Boss.
So who wears those?
Crazy people. We're always trying to be on the cutting edge for the next new thing. So we really kind of catch on to trends before they happen.
What do you think the big fashion trend will be for this year?
I think crop is still strong. You know, girls wearing crops. Menswear polos are really, really strong. These are selling like crazy. Going to be big with the college guys, older guys. Very comfortable, breathable for hot game days. Lots of different choices. So we have lots of button designs that we do for game days that girls can accessorize on their purses, jackets, shirts.
Seems like bling is also in too.
Yep. Bling is real popular still. I think girls always want to look and stand out and be blingy. So, a couple designs that we just got in like a week ago, and we're already selling out. So this is really trending really quick. So when you see these things, you jump on it and you order more until you can't sell anymore. So,
what are the fashion don'ts for Boone Pickens Stadium?
You don't want to wear red. Absolutely no red. This is our bread and butter right here. This was a hand-drawn design from 1986. A lot of designs are now done computers, but this was hand-drawn. 90% of the shirts you see on the wall up there, we do in-house. Oh, and he's printing Oklahoma State stuff right now. Hey, Mel, you're going to be on TV. So it's layers, so each screen throws down a layer of ink, and then we throw it through a dryer to cure everything.
And how do you all stand out from any other shop or boutique here?
Well, I'd say we've been here for almost 40 years. We're on Campus Corner. Have always been on Campus Corner, so I kind of say we're the place to be on game day.
Stay with us on the KOCO College Football Countdown for part 2 with the head coach, Mike Gundy.
How long you want to do this, Mike?
My candid conversation with the head coach of the Pokes. Welcome back to the KOCO College Football Countdown. I'm Bryan Keating. She's Hannah Hoover. You've had an action-packed first half hour of the show. We've got a great show here for you coming up in the next half hour, and I want to get to the OSU Cowboys. They had a difficult season last year, 3-9. They know they have to be better. They expect to be better there in Stillwater.
They expect to be better because they really have a whole new team, a whole new coaching staff, quarterback options that are new. So I'm expecting to see a much different OSU Cowboys team in 2025.
They lost their last 9 conference games. They finished 3-9. You saw part 1 with me and Mike Gundy. Here's part 2. We talked about everything from the NIL to the transfer portal. And Mike Gundy, how long do you want to keep coaching football?
You built your program building through recruiting and the Cowboy culture. How do you change that to manage the way that the college football is now?
I think we hang our hat on core values. We're still going to have the discipline, the toughness. There's accountability, there's structure. And then it has to be our way. So like when the players come in, they have to buy into our system and who we are, because we can't adjust to them individually. Mm-hmm. They're all going to be themselves, but what we've done for 20 years has worked, and so the core values has to stay consistent.
You still like getting up and going to work and doing all the things you used to as much as you used to do that?
Even more so now than ever, because I'm intrigued with the new system. We've been very lucky. We have Kenyatta Wright that runs our business department. He's been huge for us in a lot of areas, and I'm learning from him.
Kenyatta Wright is the director of football business at Oklahoma State, and he was a Cowboy linebacker from 1996 to 1999 and spent 5 years in the NFL. He is the general manager for Cowboy football, in charge of Cowboy business, including NIL deals and roster management.
He understands contracts. He understands agents, representatives. He's involved with the player personnel in the NFL. That's intriguing to me. But in the end, when we start, it becomes football again. So coaches, this is the job you want to be. This is what you choose to do. You're here. Players, your salaries are set. You're supposed to be here.
Yep.
Let's play football. That I still enjoy that side of it.
You gotten used to the talking about salaries?
No, I don't. And I don't do it because I don't put a value on them. I don't have to with Kenyatta. He is able to put a value on them based on whatever software that they use. And I have a hard time coming around to that.
How long you want to do this, Mike?
I've been fortunate. I'm healthy. Been lucky with my health. I still wake up early thinking about football. Throughout the day, I think about football. It intrigues me. The challenge of what's going on today intrigues me. So quite a while, I guess. At some point, I guess it'll come to an end. I visited with Coach Stoops, Bob, and some other coaches that have gotten out of the game. And I asked them, when did you know that you should get out? And what's interesting is they all said something very similar to the fact that you'll know. So that didn't do anything for me. I said, well, I'm waiting for you to tell me what I'm looking for, And Coach Stoops, you'll know. You'll just know. And I haven't felt that yet. But they said you'll know. You'll just know when you don't have the drive anymore to do it for all the right reasons. And if you've done it a long time and been successful, you'll get out because you know it's time to get out.
Mike Gundy unfiltered. That's the best kind of Mike Gundy when you get him there and he just gives you a little bit of it. Totally candid. I think it's great. I think for OSU fans, the best situation in Stillwater, for Mike Gundy to be re-energized, he says he is. Yeah. And I think a re-energized Mike Gundy is good for that OSU football program, who, let's be honest, last season was not nearly good enough. They had a crazy offseason, brought in a whole bunch of new coaches, got a whole, in large part, a whole new roster, and they have higher expectations for this season, certainly, than they were a year ago.
Yeah, look at the record there. 0-9 in conference play. You can't have that happen, and I don't expect that to happen in 2025. They have all the new pieces in place, and I really am looking forward to seeing what Mike Gundy can do this season with what you said is a whole new roster, and I think you're correct.
I can just feel a new energy around that football program, and a rejuvenated Mike Gundy is the best kind of Mike Gundy, which is why OSU fans, I think, should be excited going into 25.
Most definitely.
They've got a lot of new players that are going to run through the tunnel on Thursday night for the first time at Boone Pickens Stadium.
Exciting.
And a bunch of Cowboy fans that cannot wait for kickoff.
I'm focusing on my job and what I can do to be the best quarterback I can be, but at the same time, me and Zane are going to be supportive of each other, and we're friends off the field, obviously. We respect each other, and we know we're both really good players, so we're just here to do whatever we can to help this team win.
I think I'm pretty even keel mentally. I think that's probably my strong suit, not getting too high, not getting too low. I like to throw the ball around, obviously, but I think I can run too, use my legs when I need to, so yeah.
With the season fast approaching, every team has 1 or 2 games circled on their calendar as they get ready to go with pressure building for both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. I spoke with ESPN analysts Dari Noka and Greg McElroy on what lies ahead for both of these programs. What does this season need to look like, in your opinion, for OSU?
I think last year was kind of a perfect storm. It's never as bad as it seems. It never as good as it seems. Like, OSU is one of the teams that I point to from last year, not that dissimilar to Florida State, where like everything that could go right the year before went right, and everything that could go wrong the next year went wrong. And I don't think there's any chance of that being replicated.
Oklahoma State did not win a single Big 12 game in 2024. And OU also struggled last season under quarterback Jackson Arnold. Now he's at Auburn, and Dari Noka thinks Arnold's return to Norman is the Sooners' most important game.
I really believe Auburn is the one.
Okay.
That's the 4th game of the season. It's the first conference game. You look at 2 programs that are in similar positions, both disappointed, both feel like they're on the rise. Jackson Arnold coming back to Norman. I feel like while the Michigan game will be a really good measuring stick week 2, the one they cannot lose is to Jackson Arnold and Auburn at home to start conference play.
And the next big challenge for the Sooners, OU Texas. When you talk about OU Texas, though, it is such a great game, but now you've got two different quarterbacks behind center. What is the matchup going to look like with Manning versus Mateer?
I think Texas is going to be really good. And it's not just Arch, who I just kind of want, let's let this play out a little bit and let's see what happens at Ohio State in week 1. But he's got receivers all over the field that are going to be a matchup nightmare. It's the skill guys for Texas against the defensive Oklahoma that ultimately will determine that game. You know, at this point, I wouldn't pick OU yet.
OU's got their quarterback, but OSU is still deciding. What do you think about the quarterback room?
Regardless of who they go with, because we don't know enough about either to really say what they're capable of or what the offense is going to look like with them at the reins, I'm really optimistic about the coordinator that's calling the plays, and Doug Meacham, because Doug Meacham's had running quarterbacks, he's had passing quarterbacks, he's had great success pretty much everywhere he's been. Right now in this league, you got to have good quarterback play if you want to win. I mean, that's just the reality, and OSU learned that last year.
What does a successful season look like for OU?
If we see that they made the right moves, personnel-wise, they brought in guys that fit. Defense stays strong, offense takes big strides. I don't know that a win total matters. Show me that this program is going the right direction with Jim Nagy and Brent Venables.
What is it going to take for OSU to become that top-tier program again?
If you look at Mike Gundy and just his history and success and what he believes in, it's tried and true. I think he's a really good football coach, and I will continue to believe that regardless of what happens this year, next year, the year after that, that guy can coach ball. But now it's about putting the team together that can allow them to go reach their potential, and that's the question that remains to be seen.
What do you think the national conversation around the Big 12 is?
We're an innovative conference. We're an emerging conference.
The Big 12 may have fallen outside of the top 10 college football rankings, but Commissioner Brett Yormark is confident in his conference.
Oh, he believes. And Mike Gundy calls him the best commissioner in all of sports. We're one-on-one with the commish next on the KOCO College Football Countdown. I want to change directions. I want to talk about the Big 12 Conference. And the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the top 10 teams in all of college football. The top 10 is littered with schools from the Southeastern Conference and the Big 10, and nobody, Hannah Hoover, from the Big 12.
I think it's a little bit of a miss. Honestly, there's a lot of great Big 12 programs. I can see them using this as an edge, a little underdog mentality.
The underdog mentality, but it does show you kind of the respect or lack thereof in some ways of what the Big 12 Conference has become. So I talked to the commissioner, Brett Yormark, who Mike Gundy calls the best commissioner in all of sports on the Big 12 now, and what he sees the Big 12 moving forward. Why are you so bullish on the future of the Big 12?
I'm very passionate about the Big 12. I came here with, I guess you could say, some ambitious plans. I wanted to connect a culture. I wanted to get on the consciousness of current and future student athletes. I wanted to modernize and contemporize the conference. I wanted to be a national conference. And now I love the trajectory of where we're going. Everything's in place to really start performing at the highest levels and evolve to become truly a great conference. So that excites me. And I think this year is a big year for us.
Brett Yormark is remarkably optimistic about the future of the Big 12 Conference. But in an era of college football that's turned into a conference arms race, the Big 12 has ground to make up. In 2024, the Big 12 was fourth in conference payouts, and they were well behind the Big 10 and the SEC. And for a second year in a row, the Big 12 does not have a team ranked in the preseason college football top 10. What do you think the national conversation around the Big 12 is?
We're an innovative conference. We're an emerging conference. People didn't think we'd be here today. Not only are we here, we're ready to thrive. I know our national profile is greater than it's ever been. And sometimes you have to step out of collegiate athletics to hear that noise, which is all good, and I do. You know, I come from a place that's a little different than where I reside today. So I'm hearing the accolades, and I'm hearing about the progress. But there's more work to be done. And this partnership is all about.
And there appears to be some momentum. This summer, the Big 12 Conference announced partnership deals with Microsoft and PayPal. And Yormark bragged about the Big 12's social media, announcing they were the second most followed conference on Twitter and Instagram.
Your MOP of the 2024 Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship is
And one of the most popular innovations for the Big 12 Conference, their partnership deal with the popular sports entertainment company, WWE.
Are you ready? You know, I kind of look at us as a bit of a mature startup. We've just really got started. There's so much growth ahead of us, but you also need to celebrate success along the journey. And we've had some great success over the last 3 years. I mean, how we're building this thing and setting ourselves up for the future.
And Yormark hopes the future is now. Last season, the Big 12 was the only Power 4 conference to have only one school selected as part of the 12-team college football playoff. And Arizona State lost their playoff opener to Texas and the SEC.
How do you just assure that the Big 12 at this time doesn't fall behind maybe the SEC and the Big 10?
Just doing my job every day. How do I create more value for our membership? How do I continue to enhance our profile and narrative? How do I work with our TV partners to continue to elevate and amplify and storytell around our 16 great institutions in our conference? There's lots of ways that I can lean in and assure that we stay on the path we're on, and I feel very confident that we will.
Of the 16 members of the Big 12 Conference, collectively, they're only credited with 6 football national championships. And the most recent was Central Florida in 2017, who finished that season 13-0, but wasn't selected to play in the playoff. And it wasn't until months later that UCF had their claimed national championship officially recognized by the NCAA. And before the Knights, you have to go all the way back to Colorado in 1990 and BYU in 1984.
You've talked a lot about the parity in the league and how everybody. Do you think, though, you need someone to step out of that parity shadow and really take the lead for the Big 12 to take the next step?
Yes, we do. You know, I think parity is great, and I think we are the deepest conference in America, top to bottom, but ultimately need some outlier brands that are a part of that national conversation year in and year out. And I think we're getting close to that.
What do you think success in the Big 12 looks like over the next 10 years?
Being the best version of ourselves. That truly, for me, is to be the best version of ourselves, to be to be part of the conversation year in and year out. You know, when you think about the Power 4 conferences, to cement our place, you know, within the best conferences in America, and we're not there yet. You know, if you think about it, we've added 8 schools in the last 2 years, in the last 24 months. It takes time to integrate them, for them to buy into the culture, for them to be part, you know, of what we're building here. I think we're prepared for greatness. I truly believe that. Foundationally, we've set ourselves up for great success. And I think ultimately in time we'll be the best version of ourselves, but I think that's going to take a couple of years.
Stay with us on the KOCO College Football Countdown. The picks are in for the Sooners and Cowboys.
We'll tell you how many wins we're thinking for each team up next, right here on the KOCO College Football Countdown.
It is that time for season predictions. How many wins for the Sooners? How many wins for the Cowboys? They got to be better, right?
They've got to be better.
Both
teams.
Both have got to be better. Here's the deal. Take this with a grain of salt because let's rewind. This is how we picked the Sooners and Cowboys last year. Roll it.
If they can win 9 games, it could be dangerous.
If Jackson Arnold plays great, OU's got a chance to win 9 games. Oklahoma State right here, one of the favorites for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, one of the favorites for sure. Ollie Gordon, it's going to be his show. They're set to have a really big season as well.
I think they will win 10 games. I think they will get back to the Big 12 championship game, and I think they've got a real chance to be the best team in this league and maybe get to the college football playoff.
Did I say college football playoff for the Cowboys?
Didn't go that way.
Didn't go that way. I picked the Sooners to win 9. They won 6. Picked the Cowboys to win 10. They won 3. We got to be better this year. How many wins for the Sooners?
Okay, I'm going to say 8 to 9 wins for the Sooners. You know what? I'll just go ahead and say 9. I said that last season, and I'll commit to it. 9 wins for the Sooners because this is a team that has a great defense. They've been dominant last year, and I think they're going to be dominant again this year. And as far as John Mateer goes, they're going to get, in my opinion, a lot better quarterback play from him. They've got more pieces to work with, and I think that Ben Arbuckle's offense will really shine this season. I have some faith.
Defensively, they're going to be awesome. They're going to be one of the best defenses in the country. They got the toughest schedule, or one of the toughest schedules in all of college football. I think 8 wins for Oklahoma, and I think that does show progress If John Mateer's great, maybe you can push it to 9. I got to wait and see on John Mateer.
Okay.
We'll see on Saturday at home against Illinois State. How about for the Cowboys, who open up on Thursday against Tennessee Martin?
It's hard for me to see a scenario where they win more than 5 games. I can see them winning 6, but the Big 12 has a lot of parity. They're going to play Baylor, who is one of the better teams in the Big 12, and that's a game out front of the gate. They've also got Oregon. It's a non-conference game, second game of the season, and K-State. So it's not going to be easy, and they really have to take advantage of those home games that they have.
You got to win your home games. You got to get better quarterback play. They expect to have better quarterback play. We'll see that as well, whichever quarterback they decide to go with for the rest of the season, and we'll find out a little bit on Thursday night. I've got the Cowboys at least to bowl eligibility.
Let's
Mike
go.
Gundy missed a bowl in his first season, and he missed a bowl game last year. In between, they went to bowl games. I just have faith in Mike Gundy to get this program at least moving forward. He's been too good a head coach for too long. I think bowl eligibility shows progress within this organization. It shows progress where OSU fans can at least say, okay,
a sigh of relief.
We're a sigh of relief after what happened a season ago. Bowl eligibility, I think, is a good year for OSU in what is clearly a rebuilding year in Stillwater. Hannah Hoover, college football's here.
I can't believe it. I can't wait. Let's go watch some football.
Let's go watch some football. Thursday night at Boone Pickens Stadium, Saturday night at Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. I cannot wait. For Hannah Hoover, I'm Bryan Keating. Thank you for watching the KOCO College Football Countdown. Enjoy the season, everybody.